Welcome back to ciLiving. Don't let financial changes take you by surprise, especially when you should be enjoying your retirement. Rooted Wealth Advisors is sponsoring today's segment, and here to teach you how to stay prepared is John Savarino. Welcome back.
Thank you. It's always good to be back.
All right, so I see today you have brought literal red flags to explain to us some investing red flags, right?
Yeah, we are going to discuss what we consider to be like the top 5 red flags to avoid for someone that's close to retirement, or especially if they're already in retirement.
All right, so let's see. Our first red flag today says tax time bomb.
Time bomb.
What is a tax time bomb and why is it a red flag?
A tax time bomb is typically going to be someone's traditional 401k or a traditional IRA. So think of that 401k that you had through your employer that you were saving into, deducting the taxes. Your employer was, contributing as well via matching contribution. Well, that money needs to be taxed in the future. So what we have to start to consider is what are future tax rates going to be if they're potentially higher, but most importantly, required minimum distributions. This is what catches people off guard. I might be very comfortable on the income that I have today, and then the IRS starts to force us to take withdrawals from these 401ks or IRAs at either age 73 or 75, and that can start to exponentially increase, someone's tax burden. So once again, that's why we consider that to be a ticking tax time bomb, and just so many folks overlook that fact.
Sure, that's really important and good to know. And then what about inflation ignored? What does that mean?
We simply don't factor inflation to our income needs, right? So I might think that I'm going to be happy on $100,000 a year of income today, and overlook, the old adage of, hey, $1 today is worth more than $1 tomorrow. And so what we really need to consider is like things cost, generally speaking, 20% more today than what they just did a few years ago.
Sure.
So our $100,000 today, say in 10 years, would be equivalent to $120,000, $130,000. So I often see a lot of really cool spreadsheets that come through the door from an income plan perspective, and they're missing such a crucial piece to it.
So that is a big red flag to watch out for, and a very common one, it sounds like.
Yes.
All right, and then no income strategy. That's also probably a big one.
Yeah, I think oftentimes I just get folks that come through and they just want to make sure that they're okay. And, a lot of other firms out there will simply run what we call Monte Carlo simulation. And what that is it's simply simulating what our retirement's going to look like. How long is our money going to last? How much can we spend? And while that's nice to have and can be comforting, there's so much more that goes into it. Like, what's the order of liquidation strategy? What are these different variables that they're putting in there? Are we looking at taxes and just ultimately trying to make our hard-earned money go further by, utilizing an income strategy rather than just a simple simulation? And that's another thing that I think people often overlook. There's so many things that we can do that will help stretch our money significantly further.
Well, and a follow-up question about income strategy is that when we're looking at finances, is that something like residual income? Like, for example, if you have a property and that's going to be income long-term, or are you simply talking about like returns on market investments and things like that?
Oh no, we're looking at it all. So, we work with a lot of business owners that have very, I don't want to say complicated, but they have a lot of different cash flows, a lot of different income sources. So we're bringing all of that together and looking forward through, various different ways there. But we're bringing it all together, not just looking at someone's retirement investments, but also their businesses, any cash flow, any income that they have.
Anything that's possible.
Exactly.
And then next we have Medicare premium surprises. Anything with surprises, that just sounds like a red flag.
Yeah, I think what people don't realize, specifically to their Part B and Part D premiums, is how much you pay is based off of how much you make. And so there's an acronym called IRMAA, I-R-M-A-A, which stands for Income Related Monthly Adjusted Amount. And ultimately, the higher your income is, the more you're going to pay for Medicare. And where I think this catches most people off guard is they read on Google like a Roth conversion is a great strategy, which does make sense for a lot of people, but they do this big Roth conversion and their Medicare premiums double or triple in the following 2 years. So that catches a lot of people off guard.
Right, so that's the surprise part. And then last, legacy assumptions. What does that mean?
So legacy assumptions, I think what oftentimes clients and those that we meet with, they think everything's okay. Like, okay, it's just all going to go to my kids, right? It's all going to go to my spouse.
Sure.
And then we look at various accounts that have, beneficiary designations where they haven't been updated for 20 years, and it's like it's not what you think it is. They don't have TODs or PODs on their bank accounts. They might not even have their spouse on their bank account, and it's not always as easy as what it seems. So you really want to make sure you're checking off those boxes to make sure that it's an efficient transfer process. And then I think, lastly, it's just understanding what your legacy goals are. So I always make the joke, my mom, legacy is very important to her. She wants there to be something there for us, her kids, and she wants it to be a very smooth process. And my dad's like, well, you'll be lucky with whatever you get.
Right.
But we really need to understand, what a couple or an individual's goals are from a legacy perspective, and just do whatever we can right now to maximize it, because by waiting, as every day goes by, it's just another day lost, opportunity cost-wise.
Right. Well, thank you so much for being here, sponsoring our segment, and sharing all of these really important red flags with us.
Yeah, I love being here and sharing it.